Thank God all this is over with. Thank God preseason's over with. Finally, it is done. Okay. I want to go over, obviously, this game against the Colts. The Eagles have not won a preseason game at all. So they were, what? They were 0-2-1 as of right now. Want to go over this whole entire game. Not going to talk about the cuts too much going into the weekend because I want to make that on a separate video, but I will talk about, obviously, the competition a little bit. I will talk about what kind of really stood out and what it's kind of saying right now with some positions, which really showed from this game and who wasn't playing and who was playing. So I'm ready to do this. So let's get into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So we're going to go over some news for the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to go over, obviously, the preseason finale against the Indianapolis Colts at Lincoln Financial Field. The Eagles lost 27-13. They were 0-2-1 in preseason. I don't care about wins in preseason. We're not scheming against another team. We're trying to get good looks. We're trying to see who can make this roster. And obviously, cuts are going to happen this weekend. And then, we're going to get, good amount of, maybe some surprises. And hopefully we're not going to be upset about a few things. Obviously, every Eagles fan is not going to be happy with certain things that we do. So we have to put that into realization real quick. Now, the first thing I want to talk about here is obviously off the gate to this preseason game, which I really did like. And I don't know if they've been watching our videos or not, but I got to say, Devin Allen, man. I mean, they finally put him on kick returns. No Boston Scott and Quez Watkins. Obviously, both of those players probably didn't even dress for the game today. Obviously, like a lot of other players didn't. But Devin Allen got a shot. Just give him a shot. All I care about. They put him on kick returns. He muffed the punt. He went to his left. He got hit a little bit. Then he ran to his right. And every defensive guy on kickoff was taking angles on Devin Allen. Good block downfield by Eli Ricks. Really a good job, man. They can't catch Devin Allen. He is an Olympic hurdler, man. This guy was, I think, in the last Grand Prix, I think he's like the fourth fastest guy. I mean, it's insane how much speed this guy has. And they've used him. They were using him in a little bit of the offense today. Not too much. There was one they did like a reverse with him, but he slipped because of the field, and they had him on a screen pass, so they did a couple things with him. But man, just to see him on kick returns, this special teams unit has got to get their shit together. Okay, now punt returns, not much there. They had that Swain kid, Swaney, whatever his name is, that receiver that we signed yesterday, that he was just showing up to play, 3-year player. And they had, obviously, well, not obviously, but Justin Evans, okay, safety-wise. They had him playing as a punt returner, and he was god-awful. God-awful. Why didn't you just do double duty with Devin Allen in this preseason game? Why not just give him the most opportunities possible? And every time he got the ball, kickoff-wise, the thing that I like about Devin Allen the most is that he doesn't hesitate after getting the ball. He just runs. Just runs. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't hesitate. He just goes. Whatever he sees, he goes. Make sure he gets those positive yards. We really need the third part of, obviously, a football team is your special teams, and guys, it's bad if they don't make the right decisions here with Michael Clay. So maybe Michael Clay woke up a little bit and said, you know what, I gotta try Devin Allen on some kick returns. Why not? And I feel like this could be a roster spot going down the line. We'll go through that in another video, but, obviously you're looking for the number 5 receiver. Are the Eagles actually going to keep 2 receivers now just playing special teams? Okay, you see Devin Allen not only on kick return, do you see him on kickoff, where one of the punts was so damn short because Aaron Sipos he had a couple punts that didn't even go 20. It literally went 20 yards. I mean, it was pretty bad. And Devin Allen was the first one down there making tackles. So he's got a lot of, he'll never be a receiver here, but he's got a lot of productivity and value as a special teamer. Make him a specialist. I really hope to keep Devin Allen. I just feel like there's something there with him that we really need. And if you have to count on him as a wide receiver for some reason, I guess we'll just figure it out down the line. But it was a nice showing from Devin Allen, and they finally did something with him, but I wish they did something with him a lot earlier. And Britton Covey is still out right now, which is really weird, how Covey is still not playing. which is kind of crazy. Maybe they don't want to build too much value with him. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why, but in Devin Allen's case, it was a good day. He was productive on every time he had his chance and can't complain about it whatsoever. Now, obviously, going through the quarterbacks today, I mean, yeah, guys, I mean, we want to see Tanner McKee is really, besides this last preseason game, Tanner McKee has been playing against third stringers to really the back end of rosters. And yeah, there were times where this was the first game where I actually saw a couple good things from him, a few good things where, he completed a good amount of passes today, but definitely a little bit of a harder day against second-string backups because the Colts really started a lot of their first-team offense, too, against both these quarterbacks, which was kind of crazy. And I thought they did a pretty good job. I thought McKee had some good throws. I think he was accurate at times, and I think there were a few times where we actually saw McKee actually moving around the field a little bit, looked a little elusive. You know what I mean? You saw him break a couple tackles, getting some passes going, getting out of the pocket, escaping the pocket, few runs upfield. You know what I mean? There was a few things that he looked a lot better on movement today, which was good. And I don't know what's going to happen with him going on waivers or what the case may be, because I don't think he's going to last coming back to the practice squad. I really don't. As to Marcus Mariota's case, I honestly, between the pass to Dan Arnold should have been a PI on the defender. I think that would have been a touchdown. Drove the ball pretty damn quick. A few runs from Trey Sermon and a few others and got a touchdown. I mean, Marcus Mariota is a lock for this roster. He was only in the game for one series. If they sit him down after a series, it means he's going to be the backup quarterback here. Yes, I know it makes absolutely no sense. McKee's better, but from what they want at a skill set level, because of a mobile quarterback skill set level, they're not going to get rid of Marcus Mariota. The coaches believe in him very much. I don't know if I trust him. If Jalen Hurts has to be out for one game, I don't know if I could trust him for one. Even with the best roster he's probably ever going to be, if he's ever going to start for a game and Hurts has to be out for a game or something like that, God forbid, knock on wood, do we trust him with the best offense in the NFC? Really? Because this is the best he's going to get for himself. And unfortunately, it's really tough for me to say I could trust this guy being in a game or having any value being a backup quarterback here. So it's alarming. So I don't say Mariota had the worst day, but it's not saying much. Like, I can't even rate what Mariota did today because it's really, even if he had a throwing touchdown to Dan Arnold as a backup quarterback that's been here for a while, 8 years already? You know what I mean? He's been through the ups and downs. He's been a starter. He's been a backup. He's been hurt. He's gone through a lot in his career, but I don't know if it's like a mental thing with him or something's going on, but got to play better, man. It's just he doesn't deserve a roster spot, but they gotta sign somebody. You know what I mean? He's got $5 million under his belt right now, plus incentives if he has to start more games. So I totally get that down the road. But yeah, that was really regarding both of these quarterbacks. So better days, but Mariota just didn't cut it for me. He's going to be the backup, but hopefully he just gets better mentally and can look a little bit more better. So I'd be happy about that. Yeah. And then we go to the running backs for Trey Sermon. I mean, Kennedy Brooks and Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon was just not explosive enough. I think he really hurt his chances here. I don't think he was going to make the roster anyway. There was some involvement that Penny could be cut. But because Rashad Penny didn't even play a snap today, it shows me that Trey Sermon is the odd man out. And it's unfortunate because I really do like Trey Sermon a lot. He looked good. I mean, he looked good in our offensive, for the 2 plays he had against the Jags last year. But at the end of the day, I don't think he has much explosiveness. I know he's a bruiser back. I know he can carry the rock, and I know there are times where he can get some extra yards upon contact, which I think he really does like to have. But for me, you're not keeping 5 running backs. You're just not. Between the Jonathan Taylor stuff going on, and you're keeping Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, DeAndre Swift, and now Sermon's in the mix. It's just, I think Sermon's the odd man out, and I definitely wish him the best of luck if he gets cut and he goes somewhere else. I think that's going to be a hard cut for the Eagles because I think he's shown some good things. But I think behind our starting offensive line, I think Trey Sermon could survive a whole season playing with us. It's just that in this game, it just didn't look great. Just really didn't look top tier par He just looked non-explosive. He just, he had a touchdown, but the statistics weren't really that great with him. They gave him a lot of opportunity. They passed the ball to him. They ran the ball with him. They gave him a lot of snaps, which they want to kind of see more from him. So there is interest in the Eagles keeping him, but as of right now, it's just not enough. If we had more time under our belt, maybe they would give it another look. But for me, between the Jonathan Taylor stuff going on and everything else, kind of nuts going forward. To talk about the quarterback spot, which Eagles are deep at that position anyway. I mean, they're just so deep right now. And I think Eli Ricks and Garner have played very, very well. Very well. The other corners have too. Goodrich has had 2 good preseason games. McPherson's hurt, obviously. Josiah Scott, you have a lot of talent here. Okay, Eli Ricks was covering Michael Pittman today. The Colts offense, for Anthony Richardson, they kept a lot of starters out there for a while. The Eagles didn't have their first defensive line or their second defensive line. A lot of backups, okay? And Eli Ricks was on Michael Pittman, had a few good deflections. He did a fantastic job. Eli Ricks has got to make the roster. It's got to make the roster. If I'm really thinking about it right now, I mean, you're keeping like 6. If you keep 7, that's great. If they keep 6, then it's going to be a tougher choice here between, obviously Josh Jobe. Keely Ringo, you can't just cut. They just can't. They traded up for Keely Ringo. I don't think Keely Ringo has had a strong camp at all. I think, or the preseason games, he's been burnt. He's been playing really bad. But you got to remember something. Zech McPherson, he didn't play great his rookie year. He really didn't. His tackling was pretty good his rookie year, but when it came to, he was another 4th-round pick, like I said, so when it came to the preseason games, he did not play well. His coverage was not good. Sometimes you have to give these players more time. You can't cut them at an instant. You know what I mean? I think Keely Ringo is going to be a lock regardless because they just want to see more from him. I think they value him a lot more for a future. When Slay retires in 2 years or Slay leaves the team in 2 years, this year, next year, after next year he's a free agent, and then you just re-sign Bradbury. So you want to make sure your depth is great, but you could have a potential starter here with Eli Ricks. And Eli Ricks said after the game today, he was like, you know what? He's like, I think I've showed everything I can. I had the pick 6 against the Ravens. I had a great block on special teams for Devin Allen, which he did. He had a fantastic block that got Devin Allen more yards, and had some good deflections and could hold up as a starting cornerback against starters, and Michael Pittman's a starter, man. I mean, a pure starter. So that's interesting. Garner's an interesting one too going forward because I felt like him and Alec Pierce really went at it, in the game tonight, and I thought he had really good coverage. And this is another guy that might have more value to the team going forward. Maybe they'll kind of sneak him to a safety to keep him on the safety side of things because, maybe they want to keep him as a safety on the roster so they don't have to, they can always have him play both positions so it doesn't really matter what they do with him. But he's cross-trained the safety. He could play cornerback. He could play inside if you really have to, you know what I mean? So that's another thing because Maddox is a big liability right now. But I think both of these guys have been playing very, very, very good right now. Couldn't be any happier about it. Eli Ricks is, when you're undrafted, when you find guys like this in the undrafted pool, that are, hungry and want to prove the world wrong of why they should have been drafted. You know what I mean? I mean, it's really been mostly with Eli Ricks' career, it's been mostly an injury concern most of the time. So I think that definitely makes sense going forward. But both these guys definitely deserve roster spots. Really depends on if they keep 6 or 7 cornerbacks. Really depends. If they can keep 7, then yeah, it's going to be a lot easier for me to choose. But Eli Ricks, definitely underrated. Gardner, playing fantastic. So it's going to be an interesting one going down that rabbit hole when we do go. Now, Dion Kane was the best receiver today. I don't know statistic-wise, but it was a good day. Because really, Dion Kane missed a lot of time. Didn't really make it to the joint practices at all. But had the opportunity to get into this game today and really show off a lot. So he had they threw a lot to him, and he caught a lot of balls today. So thought it was a good day for Dion Kane, but do I think he's the lock at wide receiver 5? Definitely not. No doubt. And then obviously Joseph Ngata is another one that, the Eagles paid him the most money undrafted free agent signing of $230,000. And, maybe as a big receiver, his main issue has been separation. Contested catching's been A+, But today wasn't great. I mean, I know they were force feeding him the ball today a lot. They want to really see what they have in him because I think they're looking for backup big receivers, which they've been doing because Jaden Hazelwood was horrible. He hasn't had a strong camp. Charleston Rambo was hurt, so he didn't even get to training camp with us at all, barely. You know what I mean? So I feel like at wide receiver, this is another move that you could say, you know what, Joseph Ngata got paid all this money. As you know, they had a lot of faith in him that he would maybe do something. The guy just can't get separation. Every time they throw the ball, no separation. Contested catching, that's his bread and butter, and he didn't even do that at all either. I know they're force feeding him when he's in tight coverage. There's only so much he can do. I totally get it. But I think Joseph Ngata will be on practice squad. I think he will clear waivers, so I'm not really worried about that too much going forward. Another one I can talk about, Ben Van Summeren's another guy. Freak athlete, so fast, shoots the gap so well. One problem is that he just misses tackles, man, like crazy. He's got the physicality to do it. He's got a lot of tools in the toolbox right now. He's a freak athlete. It's just really knowing the playbook, knowing where he's got to line up, and just being more athletic at times, So he always misses tackles. That's definitely a sure thing going forward with that, So interesting on that. I know Jake Elliott kicked a 59-yarder and a 52-yarder field goal today, which was great. Our best special teamer pretty much. But yeah, Jake Elliott was hot, was fire on, great. No problem. So I had no problem with Jake Elliott at all. By the way, okay, I am a big fan of Anthony Richardson, but after that shit he pulled in this game today, like, I don't know, the Commanders are celebrating a damn game, the last preseason game, when they're literally celebrating for hours like they just won the lottery. And then Anthony Richardson against not our first defensive line, not even our second defensive line. This guy is showboating in front of the fans, in front of the Eagles fans at Lincoln Financial Field, like seriously, over a preseason game with a lot of backups right now. And you're the only team right now that's got starters playing in well, not the only team, but, you had your starters playing in preseason today, your offensive line, your receivers. You had everybody starting today. And then he goes over to after he scores the touchdown, I think it was on the second drive, he goes up to the crowd, does a fly, waves his arms around like an eagle, acting like he's being a smartass. And then, yeah, it just didn't sit well with me, dude. I know they have to talk about him. The announcers have to talk about him a little bit, but he just compensated himself just doing that. And it made no sense to me at all. But really, other than that, that's really it. I mean, I think we covered a lot here. Safety-wise, it's an interesting one, too, because Sidney Brown played in the fourth quarter or the second half. I don't know if he played the second half or the fourth quarter. Why is Sidney Brown getting a lot of these reps at safety in the fourth preseason game? That's kind of alarming to say that they don't trust him right now or something. It beats me. I have no idea. I know Kavon Wallace had playing time. So if Kavon Wallace had playing time, Sidney Brown had playing time, is safety set, or are they going after a trade right now? Like, is the safety spot set right now? Why would you have those two guys playing? Lest that maybe some other people couldn't make. I don't know. But we'll find out when it happens, near future. But, I mean, that was pretty much it regarding the Eagles, finale preseason game. Finally, we are going to be scheming against a totally different team, live action, and ready to go. Okay, at Gillette Stadium. All right. And if you last this long in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video for more Eagles content coming your way. And this is it. Now we're down to the nitty gritty of things, and the cuts will start to happen tomorrow. Well, I'm making this Friday night, so technically today, Saturday, till the 29th, where they have to cut the roster down from 90 to 53, and we're gonna see the easy cuts first. The guys that we expect that are gonna be cut, and then you're gonna see it's gonna get tougher and tougher and tougher and tougher down the line. So if I missed anything in this video, please let me know. I know I'm really tired right now. I'm trying to stay awake, literally. Yeah, I mean, that's all I really got to say after this whole entire group. I think, for the last preseason game, we got a lot of feedback. We saw a lot of things, and definitely excited to obviously cover the Eagles even more this season. And once you get into the regular season, it's a wrap, and very excited for it. Make sure you guys check out the other videos as well regarding Eagles training camp and other stuff like that. We'll have live streams like crazy this week as well, just to kind of talk to you guys on everything that's going on and how you guys feel about everything. So you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shake some up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.